A question we often get is, what happens when an aircraft lands short and actually engages the EMAS on it as he's landing? We've had to date, I think, a total of 6 real-world undershoots by aircraft, ranging in size from, believe it or not, a C-130 down to a Piper Cherokee. In more than, I think, in about 2 or 3 of the cases, the pilots weren't even aware that they landed short and impacted the EMAS. They had to be told that their plane touched the EMAS before they hit the runway and continued their normal rollout. Really, the takeaway from that experience is that it had no impact on the aircraft as he was landing. People do have the thought in their mind that, oh my gosh, the way an EMAS stops an airplane with an aborted takeoff or on the rollout of a landing, it's just going to reach up and grab this airplane out of the sky. And that's not the case. As I just said, in reality, half of the time to date, the pilots weren't even aware they did it. What you have to remember when you're thinking about an airplane landing short and then impacting or coming in contact with the EMAS is a couple things. First is the weight is still mainly on the wings. So the airplane is not driving its full weight of its wheels directly into the EMAS bed. The second is that since the weight is on the wheels and the airplane is in the air, the landing gear is in full extension. So as the landing gear starts to engage the EMAS bed, it's not the wheel going down into the EMAS, it's the EMAS actually pushing the wheel and starting to compress the landing gear. Now you take those 2 points in conjunction, the weight on the wings, the gear compressing, and the fact that even a 300-foot long EMAS bed at landing speeds, you're over it in a blink of an eye. Now, with several of these overruns, we have had to do some repairs to the EMAS bed. And again, it's the responsibility of the aircraft that damaged the EMAS to cover the cost of the repair to the EMAS. They have been ranged in size from a couple blocks all the way up to, I want to say, about 16, 20 blocks. It's not nearly the same size as a full arrestment. But what happens is it's the same thing. You have to go in with an EMAS Max. You're going to go in and you're going to have to remove any of the blocks that were damaged and replace them with new blocks. The airport would handle it very similarly as they do with an overrun, where they should put a NOTAM out depending on the extent of the damage to the bed. The airport might want to put a NOTAM out. In many cases, I think in most cases, the damage has just been very succinct ruts. So 90% of even the damaged blocks are still there to engage an aircraft. And then it would be the normal cycle to repair a bed as it would be whether it be a vehicle incursion or a full-blown airplane incursion.